find it tricky to get a nice clean edge when you're filling a shape with satin stitch, one trick you can do is to pre-stitch an outline around the shape with an outline stitch before you actually do the satin stitch step. So in this case, I've used the same thread as I'm going to fill the shape with, and I've pre-stitched an outline of back stitch around the outside of the shape. I'm using 3 strands of floss here. Then, when it comes to actually stitching the satin stitch, you go right over top of the outline. So I've brought my needle up. I'm going to start in the middle on this directional line I've drawn in. I've brought my needle up on the outside of the outline, and then I'm going to poke it down on the outside as well. As we fill the shape with satin stitch, we will be completely hiding the outline, and you might be thinking, well, what's the point then? Well, the outline serves as a really helpful guide for where to place your stitches. There's just something about seeing that outline there and knowing that each time I just need to place my needle on the outside of those stitches just seems to make it more manageable. I think the other reason an outline helps, especially when you're a beginner, is that often as we stitch around a shape, we're not lining up our stitches perfectly flush with each other. That's just totally understandable. And that might mean there's tiny little gaps along the shape where the fabric is showing through. And what this outline does is it fills those gaps with colour, so it makes the whole process just a whole lot more forgiving. So you are totally welcome to do this extra step of outlining your shapes with backstitch, or you could use split stitch, before you fill them with satin stitch. I think you'll find that as you do more embroidery, it's not as necessary because you'll get better and better at placing your stitches along the edge of a shape. But it's really great to have this tool in your belt in case you want to add it in when you're filling a shape with satin stitch. So yeah, you would just continue until all of it's covered and no one will see the outline, but actually it's been a handy tool for the process.